Greetings, friends. Happy Wednesday. We're in eclipse countdown. The word for today is shadow. Shadow and the exploration of shadow has been a dominant theme this year in every lunar cycle. And I'm sure we'll be exploring this more in the days and weeks to come. What I want to talk about today is the significance of shadow that's associated with a full or complete solar eclipse. And first, remember that if you do not need to physically experience the total eclipse to benefit from the frequencies. The frequencies and activations of the eclipse move into the grids, what we call the lunar matrix, the grids that the moon supports and in the aura of Earth's energy field. And so all the millions and millions of people who are viewing the eclipse are going to be contributing to that experience for sure. However, everyone on Earth will receive the infusion of these energies. And there is no accident or synchronicity about the location of any eclipse. It's part of the overall design of the universe to bring wholeness. And so there's significance to this eclipse happening from coast to coast of the United States, and it's absolutely related to the intensities of shadow that are being activated in our culture right now. Um, the underlying instability in our actual foundation, in the foundation of our democracy, in the foundation of our government, and the foundation of our collective agreements. There is an underlying instability that has been there from the beginning and which is no longer tenable. And that's what's being activated. And so, especially that through the energy of racism and white supremacy, because we carry that as a collective, both in the ways in which we interface with indigenous peoples, the white settlers interfaced with indigenous peoples when they arrived, and how our government continues to interface with indigenous people, sovereign people of this land. And then, of course, also the overlay of racism through slavery and the ways in which the entire economy of this nation was based on slavery and the dehumanization of millions of people. So, all of this is coming to light in a very healthy and necessary way now because it's part of who we are. And it's time for all of us to own this together. That's what claiming shadow is all about. As we expand into the unity of Aquarius and the unity of consciousness of the new age that into which we are entering, our boundaries of self and other will transcend, and we will continue more and more to be able to connect with the truth of unity in the truth of the individual and the collective and the greater good that supports both. So, the quality of shadow with this solar eclipse is that when the moon completely covers the sun, the quality of generalized or impersonal illumination, which the sun provides, unfiltered, second by second, throughout our solar system, every moment since the beginning of our understanding of time, that unfiltered illumination of consciousness is interrupted. And what happens instead is the activation of shadow, of personalized form. A shadow only happens when there's a form to cast relief. And so each of us as individuals will be exposed in a very healthy and empowering and transcendent way during this eclipse. What we have the opportunity to do then is to transcend limiting beliefs and perceptions in order to step into a larger understanding of what wholeness is and what our soul purpose is. The the truth of who we are will come into clearer focus in the days following the eclipse because of that activation. And there's so much more to say, but that's the underlying principle that I'm working with. And I'm holding a lot of curiosity personally about the ways in which shadow's being activated for me, and the ways in which the activations of things that make me uncomfortable or things I don't want to claim, and those could also be gifts. There's a quality called bright shadow, which is the gifts that you don't want to claim. The obstacles, the density, the resistance, the triggers that show up in other people as your mirrors, all of these are signals right now of ways in which you are surrendering. You're ready to surrender adherence to limiting personal ideas of right and wrong in order to expand into something greater. So I threw a spread today asking if there's a message today around shadow for us, just in preparation for the next 3 or 4 days of how we can understand this phenomena and really pay attention in the next 4 days to, especially during this concentrated period of last quarter and balsamic moon, so that we can be available for the infusion of new possibility. And the cards, brilliant spread. I was shown intuitively, I didn't actually draw this card. It was already in front of me, but as I pulled into the deck, I was shown that the first card for the spread is the card for the Leo moon, which is the Strength Lust card, and a reminder that we can, it's our courage to bridge love and will that enables us to show up fully for shadow. And in showing up for the shadow and all that we fear, we turn to fire, we turn to gold, and the shadow is the lion. It's our true power and our ability to step into power. We have to be willing to claim what makes us uncomfortable in order to do that. And then the